prerequisites of MIS. So we know what is called as MIS. Here MIS refers to the Management Information System. So as far as Management Information System, it's a part and vital importance to any company or organization. So it is a connective link how the information is being circulated and how the information which is being saved in a database is being retrieved and used in a organization. So it is a connectivity link between the organization and different departments in organization. As far as the requirements of an effective MIS is concerned, that is as we told, MIS is very important for an organization. MIS looks into the main affairs of the organization, so it enables go for a better productivity, and it is having a link, so it is very helpful for carrying out decision makings or controlling the management systems or coordinating the different management functions with respect to top level, bottom level and middle level. So in order to have a better management, we have to have some effective functioning. So for effective functioning, we need some prerequisites which is very essential for the functioning of the MIS in an organization. So first one is a qualified system and management staff. So as far as the qualified system management staff is concerned, we need a person who is very well versed in the system, operating the system, and he should be a qualified person with respect to an expertising knowledge also. So here what we talk about is the qualified person. So we need a qualified person who is having some knowledge about the systems, the communication, and should be a computer expert also. So the system communication expert, he should be able to understand the concepts, the facility, that is the concepts, what are we using in the particular MIS, and he should be able to understand the problems. So what are the problems which is being encountered in the particular organization. So they should be well versed with the decision making and the information system. So they should be well versed in the decision making system, or how the particular system is being operated, and they have some they have some clarity in the understanding of the concepts. So they should understand the concepts in a better way. So next one is a system and computer expert. As I told you, he should be a computer and system expert. The particular person should have some knowledge about the operating OS system of the particular company. So they should know some knowledge about the softwares which are being used in the particular company, and should have a basic knowledge in the computer. So only mostly a person who is having a computer literacy and understanding can have a better programming and can do better things in the MIS structure. So they should understand how the particular organization is. The structure of organization is very important. They should have a better understanding about the system, and they should have a literacy on computer knowledge, and they should be somewhat well versed so that this particular computer can be used very well. So they should know understanding the problems. So we have a lot of category of experts. So these experts will be able to understand the various problems, or sometimes, for example, if it is for recruitment, they should know how to recruit the person. The qualification is what is essential, what are the experience that particular person should have. So all this knowledge is very essential in order to understand all this matter in the organization structure. Next one is management experts. Management experts is a person should have a knowledge about the management of the particular company. They should have some knowledge. So what they should have is how the particular organization should function. So as far as management is concerned, they should know how the functioning of different departments, functioning of the management function. So they should know about the planning process, or the organizing process, or controlling process, or recruitment or staffing process. All these process is very much essential for a person, one who is acting as an expert in the particular field. So only person, one who is having some well-versed knowledge in how to manage the particular organization. So that is very important. So a person should be a qualified person and should be a management staff, and having a knowledge in how to operate a system and computer expertise in particular this field, in order to have some knowledge about the software and hardware, what is to be used and how to use and how to retrieve the data. Then you should be an expert in the field of management, one who is having some knowledge about the various functioning of the particular organization. Then they always have to think about the futurist perspective. As we know, always management is only based on the particular data what we have today can be forecasted for the future. So it is a futuristic perspective. So he should be thinking about the future perspective. So he has to have some knowledge about how he has to do it. Then regarding the support of top management, as we know the top management are at the executive level and they give better knowledge about how the particular person has to work on. So you should have a support and you should have a cordial relationship with the top management. As we know, top management always looks into the vision and mission of the company. They always draft the organization goal. So based on the organization goal, the particular company will be doing all the things, activities. So the particular organization goal achievement will help the individual who is working in the organization to achieve his own goals. So this is how there is a connectivity between. So there is a connectivity between the goals what has been set by the organization and the individual goals. So individual trying to attain his goals, that is he attains the organization goals, then he attains his individual goals. So there is a support. So there is a need for support of any individual who is working in the system, MIS system. So you should have, because there is a database, he tries to create a database and he needs a support from management, because it is not a single work to be done. So it is a coordination of all the departments. So there is a connectivity of different subsystems which is working in different departments. So for example, we can take for example marketing. So there is a relationship between marketing and research and development. So whenever there is a new trend or new things are being happening in a competitive market, the particular research and development department will tell the particular thing. So this is done by the marketing and R&D department, which is in turn being told to the production department. So based on this, there will be making some changes or alternatives in the particular product which is being used or being sold in the market. So there is a link and that should be there, and there is a need for support from the top management. So as we know, top management are only at the decision making level. So whatever decision has been taken will be implemented through the other departments. So the work which is being carried out, so the flow of authority should be very well understood by the particular individual, and he should have always a coordinated relationship with the top management in order to attain the better MIS in an organization. Now coming to the database. So it's a very important concept with respect to MIS. As we know, MIS can exist with the computer or cannot exist with the computer. But nowadays MIS has become a part of the puzzle of the computer. So only a person who is having well-versed knowledge in computer can do better things in MIS system. So this is only a storing of information, retrieving of information, utility of information and sharing of information. For that they try to create a common database. Now, how this common database is created? As we know, database is nothing but it is a consolidation of many files. So we have lot of files where we create and consolidate all the files. So this particular consolidation is done in the form of a database, and this database is organized so that we try to have an integration and improved sharing of the particular information what we use, and so that there is a reduction in the redundancy which was being done. So this also tries to increase data integrity when we have a better database. So what we should do in case of database management, we should try to avoid uncontrolled data redundancy and inconsistency. As we know, database is a very important part based on which all the information is being passed. So we should have we should not have some inconsistency data, because we try to share the data stored in the database. That is, we are having a common portal. So based on the common portal, we are having the database. So we are not having any private files, so that whenever there is a change we can make. No, there should be a consistency. There should not be any inconsistency. and we should try to avoid uncontrolled and data redundancy. Then this is trying to reduce the storage cost. So but there is a storage cost. So when we have a common database, we try to reduce the storage cost, and we also prevent inconsistency data. So when we have inconsistency, we have different files, which will be creating much of confusion, different files. So we'll have different files. Then we have a program data independence. So this program data independence is a part of common database. What we do here is, we try to have a database which is being managed by the database management system, DBMS. So what we do is, we have a programs so which can be written independently, and actual physical layout of the data, or even take the total logical structure of the data. So we have the structure, that is a physical structure and logical designs we have. So based on that also we will try to write the program. So this database management, DBMS, what they do is, they try to have all the structures by having a mapping. So we have a physical design and a logical view of the data. So it is given in an application, so that when you look into the actual physical layout of the data, we can know how the particular data has been stored. So it is also important to note, though we create a common database, we should be able to access this common database or share the data. So that is the another point with respect to common database. We should have a flexible access to share the data. That is, with the database approach, we have to have an open access. That is, open access by some password key or something like that we should have, and they should have a two-step verification, so that everybody cannot access such data, and there should be users and applications. So we have to have some query languages for that, so that the user can enable those data directly, and these applications can also be written. They can also be written in order to use those data, and they can be stored in a form of database. So this database, we call it as a corporate database. So we don't create a specifically each file separately. We call it as a common database, where we have it as a corporate database. Then regarding the reliability, can we rely on those stored data? Yes, because we have some query language and special programming exclusively for this database management, we can depend on the variety of relationship between this entity. So we can relay the database what we are trying to store, and we have to manage those databases. Then regarding the control of this database, who is going to control this database? So it is very important to note that there is a centralized control of this database. So the main advantages of the centralized control of databases, we can go for global planning, and we can have an evolution of data resources. So we can take a lot of data, and then we can create a data resources which is helpful for global planning or competitive advantage. Then we have to maintain security. As I told you, when we try to use the data or share the data, we should be very conscious and very much aware of the security, what is being done. So we have to be very conscious of authorizing such data access. So we should know who has to use it, and how they have to be authorized, whether by the some keys or some passwords protected. All these things have to be very much necessary in order to plan this controlling of this database. And in case we go for any access and modification, so that should be done for all the total DBMS system. So the security measures has to be done at the end of the corporate as well as the individuals, so that there is a concern for the stored database. So we should know who is using the data, what are the data has been taken or shared. That should be we should be very much vigilant, and there should be a security system for this. And with this, always go for a better standards of measurements. Then, as I told you, we have to talk about the control and maintenance of database. So when we have a control and maintenance of MIS, so this is a very important part. So we have planned in a MIS, we have formulated the prerequisites, what is essential for MIS. So all this, we have created a common database. Then now next step is how to control and maintain this MIS. So for that, what we do is, we have to have some designed operation system. So we use some own procedures, or sometimes we even use shortcut methods. So these shortcut methods can be used for the system which tries to reduce its effectiveness. So we have to check the habits. So we have to look into the habits of users, that is how they are using it, and what levels they are being used, whether that, as we know, there are 3 levels of management, so we should know how they each level they are using this particular MIS, and we have to devise a method of information control, which we'll see in the next slides. Then we have to have a close maintenance and control, so we have to have that. Then we have to discover any changes can be taken, or we can make some improvements in the system. So when we make any improvement system, when we make any formal changes, that should be documented for better understanding. Then next one is evaluation. So this is how we have taken the evaluation of MIS is concerned. So we have to look into all the information needs, that is the information needs of 3 levels of management: executive, explicit level, or operating level, so that we get we talk about the future. Then we have to maintain the capability, that is how timely actions can be taken, and based on that we try to develop or build a MIS which is somewhat flexible, and based on our expected and unexpected information also, in the future we can add or we can delete such informations. And whenever we are developing a particular MIS structure, we have to take into consideration the views of the users, the persons who are using it. We have to take into the users and the designers about their capability. Sometimes there can be some deficiency in the system also, so only when you start using that system we can know what are the deficiency or flaws in that. So based on those flaws we can try to rectify those flaws, or we can change the particular environment. We have to guide the appropriate authority. So what are the steps we have to take in order to make this MIS in an effective and a lively way? We will talk about the characteristics of MIS. So till now we have seen the prerequisites of MIS. So next one is characteristics of MIS. So we know what are the essential characteristics which we should have in MIS. So we know MIS is very essential in any organization, and this MIS helps us to have a better understanding of the organization, and it is a relationship between each departments and the information levels and the needs of the management. So when we talk about the systems approach, management oriented, it is a need based, it's an exception based, it's always future oriented, it is integration of many subsystems, it is always trying to think about the future, that is a futurist perspective, and it is a combination of many subsystem concepts. So when we talk about the characteristics of MIS, we have to talk about the comprehensiveness. So how this MIS is being done in a comprehensive nature. So we have different things, that is a transaction processing system, TPS, or information system, which we talked about. So this is the primary function which every manager at all levels to think about. So it is nothing but it is a formal and informal system, manual or computers we use, and it is an intelligence system, or it helps us to forecast. So it's a futurist, it tries to forecast or helps us in decision support system. So that is a comprehensiveness. Then there is a coordination. So it is based on the coordination, that is a need based system. So management information system tries to centrally coordinate and ensure that there is a data processing, or you go for office automation, that is we try to go for automation, that is we make some changes with the new environment. Then it is based on the decision support system and all the other components like emotional intelligence system, and we talk about decision support system and information system. So all these are a correlated and coordinated which tries to operate and plan and do the functions. So we try to go for many subsystems, and we try to make which is more effective, we try to coordinate subsystems. And regarding the subsystem concept, we talk about MIS as it is a combination, or it's a composed of subsystems, or even you would call it as a quasi separate component system. So it is a part thing which is being coordinated and made as a part of overall unified system. So here what happens is, all these systems, what they do is they try to share their goals. So whatever the goals they have in each subsystem, like functions, each functions in the part or each departments in the organization, they try to share the goals of the management information system of the organization. So they try to have an overall structure and multiple systems. So we have to be very careful when we try to talk about in the long run planning. Then as we talk about integrated, that is integration has been brought in. So MIS, we know it is a rationally integrated system. Here integration is very much significant. So when we try to integrate, we try to produce meaningful MI subsystems, and this integration is for all the activity, that is interrelated activity, are being done with each other. So this integration is why it is essential. This integration is much essential in order to accomplish, in order to attain the primary the function, that is the passing of data between these systems. So this for that we need some computer programs, and we need some files which can be designed, so in order to facilitate data flow among the systems, and it helps for manual procedures as well as the accomplishment of this integrating these goals. So it is very much, integration is very much essential. So the benefit is, because we have some cross-functional information or sharing information that is more timely and complete relevant information, integration is much essential. Then regarding the data, transformation of data into information. So this MIS is trying to transform the data into information in different ways. So this data is processed and is useful for a particular manager or for a particular purpose. So when it is done, it is called as information. So there are many different ways in which the management can transform the data within the information system. So we have that consumer type or a product line, or that we can go for cost analysis or standard cost measures to understand. Then regarding the productivity, it is always trying to enhance the productivity. So MIS is always helping the productivity in a routine task like document preparation, or how it is to be done in a more effective way. So it is trying to provide a better level of service. So this better level of service is given to the external organization and the individuals. So it is much helpful for the suppliers and for the organization. So they give an yearly warning about the internal problems and external threats also. So they try to give the notice about the opportunities and try to facilitate the organization with the normal management processes. It also helps for managers' ability. So with the unexpected, so there is some problem, it tries to enhance the skill of the managers. Then this particular MIS is having lot of relevant information. So they provide only relevant information. So we should know what the information is relevant and what is not relevant. So it is very difficult to understand. So based on the experience that different managers they have on the particular situations or circumstances, they can try to solve special problems or specific problems. So we have to design in such a way that we have to talk about the human interface, the human factor, when we are developing an MIS system. So and MIS is also helpful for establishing quality criteria. Then we have to have a feedback, and MIS should be always flexible. That we know MIS, as I told you in early slide itself, MIS should be flexible. So whatever future change we have, we try to make it. So we have to be future oriented with respect to feedback and flexibility. Then we have to have the modularity, that is we have many modules or subsystems. So it is not for one system. So we have large systems. There is a combination of all the subsystems, and we have to talk about long-term planning with respect to selective sharing of data. That is how we are going to select the data. That is the same information, how we are going to use it within different departments or different managers, and that is purely dependent upon the manager's styles and characteristics. So your management information system is, as we know, is developed in order to have a unique manager systems and behavior patterns. So it is a human interface, as I told, the human interface, and we have to look into the manager styles the individual has and the behavior pattern, the particular personnel who is using it. So that is being made by the conscious by the man. Then this is the common characteristics which have discussed now. That is common database, computerized, user-friendly or flexibility, and information process, and prerequisites for effective planning. So when we talk about MIS, we have talked about the prerequisites, how an MIS structure should be. This is with respect to prerequisites for effective planning. So we have to establish the right climate for planning, and we have to have a clear and specific objectives. We talk about the planning premises, then what about the initiative, what is made by the top level, then participation in the planning process, that is decision making and all the planning process, and we have to communicate of different planning elements, what are there in the planning. So the policies, procedures, goals, strategy, all this ought to be communicated and put together. Then we have to talk about whether the particular integration is for a long term, a short term, or a medium term. So planning, we know there is a long term plan, short term plan, and a medium term plan. So based on that, we have to go for integration in the particular plan. There should be open system approach, and we have the management system. So in planning, MIS is a part of planning, and that is why we have taken the effective planning steps, so that MIS is planned in such a way it helps the management in the planning and decision. Now we were talking about the essential requirements of effective MIS. As I told you, we need a qualified system and management staff who has got the well-versed knowledge and who has understanding about the qualification. That is, he should be an expert in management and as well as a system, who should be able to understand and coordinate and have a clear-cut idea about the objectives of the particular company. You should have an operating manual system, how you should know, and you should have some basic understanding about the computer knowledge, and you should have some comfortable position. So always he has to talk about the futuristic, how we are going to attain the goals of the organization of the management. This is with respect to an example how the annual budgeting is being done. So here we have the input, processing, output, and users. So users are the middle managers, output is a summary report what we are going to get, and processing we are using some simple models, and input is a high volume transaction level data. So how do we look into the annual budgeting? So for that we have information that is generate, which gives us the accurate, timely, and organization information, so that this managers who are involved, they can use it in order to have decisions. They can even solve problems or supervise activities, and they can also track the process. So because as we know, the regular reports are being sent, MIS is also called as a management reporting system. So here we have to have three types of information in the detail, summary, and exceptions. So detailed information tries to give us a confirmed transaction processing TPS. Then we have the order report, so that is a detailed report, and summary information is nothing but it is a consolidated data what we get in a format that an individual can review quickly and easily. This tries to help us synopsis information, a summary report which contains total tables or graphs, or it even gives us a graphical representation so that we can focus annual budgeting. So it gives us a report about the inventory. So inventory is a very important for our system. So this is the outputs of an MIS system. So we get the report, the reports in the form of scheduled report, which is being produced based on daily or monthly or whatever schedule we have. Then key indicator report, so this gives us a summarizing the previous day report. So this is much important in case there is a critical activities which is being carried out, and typical available at the beginning of each day. Then we have a demand report. So this demand report is being produced when there is a need for some information, and based on the requisite what the manager is making, we try to produce a demand report. Then there is an exception report. This is being automatically produced. Suppose there is an unusual situation, or there is a need for some management actions. In such situations, we try to prepare the exception report. Now, this is a type of information system. How do we use it? So we have the strategic level, tactical level, operational levels, and operations. So we have the group served, that is a strategic with respect to goal setting, and the levels of management with respect to strategic level. Tactical levels, they talk about the resource allocations. Then lower level management supervisors, they look into the operations. So they are the real persons who are indulged in the operations of the daily routine activity. So they should have the monitor and control system, and touch and with the value added operation system. So we have different functions, sales and marketing, manufacturing, finance, accounting, and human resource management. So this is how a typical information system looks. and we have the management, as we have already discussed this, and we have the group served. So with respect to goal setting, that is vision, mission has been decided. Then resource allocation is with respect to budgeting on all those things, and operationals is the persons who are directly involved in the operational levels. So they look into the information what is being passed from the strategic level and tactical level to the monitoring and control. And this is the slide, and we were talking about EIS, DSS, MIS and TPS, that is Executive Information System, Decision Support System, Management Information System and Transaction Processing System. So this executive system will try to have a tactical knowledge at the executive level. Then decision support system with respect to the senior managers helping in decision making of the particular organization with the database which has been created with an expert knowledge they have. Then information, that is MIS with respect to middle levels, and transaction processing system with respect to workers levels where we have the basic database.